This is the Learn to Trade online show where experts talk about their trading journeys and help traders make more money unlocking the world of online Forex, crypto and indices traders. We tell it like you want to hear it. Unfiltered insights, no corners cut. Hi everyone and welcome along to the Learn to Trade online show for today, the 11th of March 2024. It's great to have your company. My name is Paul Botterill and I'm the founder of Access to Wealth and Online Trading Profits.
Hi guys, welcome to the show. My name is Ash Bull. I am a professional trader and investor.
Hi guys, I'm Adam Harris, a chief market analyst and also, yes, a private trader as well. So yeah, keen to be here.
Joining us on the show today will be Alexis Host. You'll be not too far away at all. Welcome guys to explain the show today. If you come into the Zoom live, you get a chance to place a trade that lasts a week. It goes up against the trades of our traders. And if your trade wins, you'll win the jackpot. Now, Mark didn't win last week. He was on oil and the oil trade came in fractionally down. And the Aussie trade from the Aussie yen trade from Ash came in solidly in profit. So it's a nice winner for Ash. The rest of our trades were all slightly down last week. So Mark didn't win. So this week's jackpot will jackpot to $1,250. If you win this week, you will win at $1,250. Or if you steal one of our trades, you'll get half of that. To get a chance to win, you've got to come into the Zoom. From the Zoom, we'll put you into, you'll need to put your name in the chat when we ask you to. We will put you into the wheel of names and draw somebody else out, and that person will have the chance to pick a trade or steal one of our trades. If they pick a trade and beat us, they'll win 1,250 Singapore dollars, and if they steal a trade and beat us, they'll win 625 Singapore dollars. I'm going to talk a little bit later on about the market, one particular factor of the market. Any general market updates from you guys before we get into our trades?
Oh, do you know, mate? I think a real fascinating switcheroo is the yen. You know, I mean, we obviously kind of saw the yen kind of all of a sudden kind of kick into shape last week, which is why I did want to go for that Aussie yen short. But some of the whispers coming from the Bank of Japan are getting louder. And as those whispers get louder that they will be going through some kind of tightening cycle, we don't know what that will look like exactly, but some kind of tightening cycle when everybody else is kind of more kind of expected to at least hold, if not start to fade, you know, is what everybody's starting to expect from the United States Fed. So the Bank of Japan are becoming outliers, and all of a sudden they become the most interesting. We see the Nikkei down 3%. You know, if you want to sort of trade an index against a currency, Nikkei is the perfect one for it, because as the yen strengthens, you'll see the Nikkei go in the opposite direction. So it's a fascinating one now, mate. I think what people need to be careful of is that even though I think there's a long way to go now for the yen, if this does, you know, if the Bank of Japan's hawkish stance holds, I think you just got to be careful where you get in. You know, don't just dive in and sort of like, you know, expect everything to be fine. Still look for value.
And I'm going to take that. That's a great.
Add to that, Adam.
Sorry, we got time?
Yep, we've got a minute.
Yeah, so very cool. I think that's great. I thought it was interesting. It looks to me as though the US indices are sort of topping out, looking like they might potentially weaken, but it also looks to me like HK and China indices are starting to look a little bit more bullish. So that ties in with kind of what you were saying. The interesting thing for me is there's definitely some dollar stuff happening here where we've got in the currencies, it looks like we might have a little bit of dollar strength, but at the same time, we're seeing a lot of the indexes are looking very overstretched and overextended. So there's a mismatch somewhere.
Cheers, Adam. Thanks for that. James, can you ask Alexis to send me her trade? I'll do the trade. It's fine. Let's get into it, guys. Ash, can you place your trade, please? What's your trade for today?
Sure thing. Yeah, well, you know, given sort of everything, I would have loved to have gone for the yen again, but I just don't like the value. And, you know, when we're sort of considering trading, it's not just, of course, about what you want to trade. It is also about the price of what you're going to trade. And I'm going to go for this Kiwi Swiss to the upside, mate. I think the news that Chairman Jordan is finally kind of hanging up his boots after 12 years at the top of the SNB, at the top of the Swiss National Bank. I think it's had a little bit of, it's sent some jitters into the market. And I also think that, with inflation at 1.2% in Switzerland, I think they're a bit more comfortable, and they've historically been comfortable being one of the more dovish central banks. So I think that they are much more likely to move negatively than the RBNZ, and the RBNZ have been sort of hinted at maybe, increasing interest rates. Now, I don't think that will happen, but I don't have a firm opinion on that. But what I would suggest is that they're very unlikely to start cutting rates. So I like the Kiwi Swiss for some upside. What I also like is the technical picture. Now, when I look at this technical picture, I see a trend line that's come here. And what I really like here when I zone in is that this trend line was broken down and then it was closed above, and this been tested and tested and tested and now rejected. So I like this whole area as a buy zone. The bars that are kind of coming into play are a little bit scruffy, and it may well take more than a week. But on the whole, I think the Kiwi versus the Swissy is a trade long. So this is my trade for this week, mate. Kiwi Swiss long.
Swiss long. Cheers for that. Adam, what's your trade for this week?
All right. So I am going to keep this very quick, very brief. There are a lot of different things going on at the moment. And so what I'm looking at is the Dow. It's starting to lose its momentum and forming a potential head and shoulders here. So the risk in my trade is that I'm premature. I'm expecting a little bit of a correction to the downside. And the thing is that this could go for a few days and then it could correct the week after. So there is risk in my trade. Plus, by the way, please note, newer traders, I'm looking at a bit of a correction against the trend. The market's been incredibly bullish. And all I'm really looking for here is that we close a little bit lower over the coming week. There is risk in my trade, but I'm looking at a change in momentum, and therefore I'm sort of having a look at that. There's lots of other trades that I've also seen as well. I like the Swissy strength that Ash has pointed out. We're going to have to see. This is the one I'm going to pick, and we're just going to have to see if that momentum does actually fail enough within the next 7 days that we see where we are in the coming week.
Oh, mate, is it Dow long or Dow short?
Dow short. So I'm looking for it to start to break lower, form a bit of a head and shoulders pattern, but ultimately close lower within the next week.
Right, I like it personally, mate. If Lexus hadn't come back in, I was going to go Nasdaq short. So I'm with you. I'm ready for this. I'll talk a little bit about why in a few minutes. So, look, before you, for those that want to get in the chance to, if you want to get in with a chance to win the jackpot, you need to jump into that Zoom right now, and then write your name in the chat. So, Eminem, you can just put your name in the chat, and Kim will grab those names, put them in the wheel of names, and we will come back to you in a few minutes, and we will draw out who's the person. Crystal's got her name in first, like almost every week. Good luck to you, Crystal. Hope you do. If you want to win the money, you've got to jump into the webinar and have a chance of doing it. Lexus, what is your trade for today?
I'm looking at the Euro-Yen short.
Euro-Yen short?
Yes.
Can you tell us anything about why?
Okay, just a quick screen share. So one of the reasons is it has just broken a trend line, and if we do kind of zoom out a little bit, it's a very overextended chart. And I am looking for a potential Japanese yen interest rate adjustment coming in there are rumors it could be somewhere in mid-March, April, but we'll see, whether they do come up with it. But I do believe if they should, do some changes to their yield curve and make a decision to do something with their rates, then I think the Japanese yen could take off pretty fast. And on the Euro yen, on the technical aspect, it has already broken this trend line over here, and I'm looking for a little bit more of a pullback to take it down short.
I really like it, Alexis. Thank you very much for that. So we're going to do our education with Ash. Kim will come on camera, so she's ready to go. As soon as Ash's education piece is finished, we'll go to the wheel of names. So Ash, your education piece, come on camera, please.
No problem at all. Yeah, do you know what? Interestingly, I think it's well worth sticking with the yen this week, and where I think the education piece might be a bit more relevant than normal is that it might even give us a bit of a trade idea coming up. So we've looked at the Euro yen short. We talked about the yen generally at the start of the show. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the Swissy yen. Now, this is a trade that I think some people might well have got on top of last week. I quite like the Swissy for some general weakness in the market, and the yen does look like the strongest currency, kind of about to kind of hit that strongest currency in the market. Now, if we look at this, what we've got here is this M topping pattern. that's come into play, and it's a lot clearer when I draw it. Now, what I'm looking for now, the reason that I'm interested in this is that I'm interested in the measured move. So if the measured move is going to be really from the peaks right down to the trough, that's going to be the height and of the from the top to the bottom, and that's going to be where I'd expect the market to come to give me some sort of price target. Now, when I do that, what I see now is that price has got pretty close. So what this is now suggesting to me is that the move to the downside is potentially almost done. So the actual pattern is of interest before, because we want to potentially sell it off. But now we've got the pattern having broken down. Now it becomes interesting after the event, because this says to me that there's a potential move to the upside. Now, if I am bearish on everything against the yen, so if I'm bullish on the yen, the last thing I'm going to do is try and buy this. I wouldn't do that. But what I would look for is the retracement to give me an opportunity to sell into the position, just like Lexi's talking about a little pullback in some of these against the yen, and then we could start to see some trades kind of triggered in. And this basically says, you know, going short here is not wise because the measured move has now been pretty much fulfilled. So a little bounce up would be the opportunity to maybe take that on off the M topping pattern. So the education this week, mate, is more about measured moves and how they work with the reversal pattern. And in this case, it was the M topping pattern.
Ash, thank you very much for that. Kim, can we do the wheel of names, please, and see who's going to be drawn out to have a chance to win the $1,250 this week? Thanks, Kim.
Yeah, sure. Hold on. Let me share my screen. Have you released the screen already?
Yep.
Okay. Your screen should be yours, no problem. So you just better go to...
Thank you.
There you go.
Hold on. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 participants for the wheel of names.
Good luck to them, eh? We've got quite a few in the room too. It's interesting that they don't put their names in, but still.
Yeah. We have Mark D again.
Well done, Mark.
That's what it says.
Okay, we'll get you on camera and on mic, and we will have you in a few minutes to talk about your trade. Before we do that, Adam, we're going to have your watch list for a minute, and then we're going to talk about my views and stuff in the market.
Okay. All right. So one of the things that I like, what Ash did was he spoke about that kind of breakdown pattern. The one thing I want to add to that is introducing one of the most powerful tools for me anyway, was that MACD divergence, and I'm going to use it on the example of the trade that I'm looking at here, which is the Dow 30 here. What you can see, of course, is that although we are getting higher highs in terms of price, the MACD has actually started to has gone bearish. This is the best way of putting it. It's in a downtrend. It's gone bearish. But really important, what it means at this stage, newer traders, this is not a signal to short the market per se. This is saying to the market is tired and there is the potential for the market to have a correction to the downside. We always wait for price action to confirm. So in other words, you wait for that trend to go, I'll draw it for you. You wait for that trend to go from an uptrend into a downtrend before you start to look for your very first shorting opportunity, which is exactly what Ash was telling you. So these are little things that you master from being a newer trader to a more experienced trader, is you wait for more evidence. You don't miss out on an entry. What you get is confirmation, you get safety, you get high probability of success. Those are the things you do. So that's not just looking at the price action, using a very powerful momentum indicator. So basically, if this is price over time, then this is speed over time, and it's detecting that the speed of the market has started to slow down compared to what it was previously, and that implies the market is getting tired and it's slowing down. So I just wanted to kind of show you that when we have a look, and so that's why I'm just going to quickly move this up here, why we're looking for things like some of those yen pairs have started to shift from that bullish momentum. You can see that even while it was bullish up here or flat up here, it had already started to go bearish over there. And this is, again, these are why these are on my watch list, because of that exact reason. I am fascinated, though, by the fact that HK looks more bullish than bearish, while a lot of, as well as let's have a look, the Nikkei is having a big correction. There was another one that I saw that was starting to look down here. Sorry, it was China. That looks really nice and bullish. So these are, to me, very fascinating that those two in particular that have been quite bearish for a while are now starting to look more bullish, and other ones that are bullish are starting to look bearish. That's a very rare type of thing. It doesn't happen very often. They tend to be much more sort of birds of a feather kind of going together. The yen pairs are looking a certain way. I just want to highlight as well something interesting to me with the euro dollar. We've had a big move to the upside. Then if we have a look, for example, at sterling, we had a big move to the upside. So those might have a bit of a correction in the early part of the week. So they are shorter term for day traders, shorter term corrections, but for swing traders, for the wave rider, these are setting up for potential buy opportunities later in the week. I can wrap it up there, Paul, if you want me to keep going, but otherwise I can wrap it up there. So those I'm looking for this week. Wave rider should provide buy opportunities ideally before the end of the week. That's what I'm looking for, and there's some of those strong trends.
That is fine. Thank you very much, Adam. Really appreciate it. Look, I'm going to talk about something for a few seconds before we go and check with Mark and his trade. But one of the things that really interests me in the moment in the world is that the central banks and real markets have very much priced in rate cuts, and rate cuts from central banks appear to be dependent on inflation falling. Now, we've got a last CPI figure from the US of 3.1 and a projection of 3.1, and the sector that includes gasoline is well above what I would expect it to be. Now, on Wednesday morning, New Zealand time, Tuesday night, inflation numbers are going to come out in the US CPI, and if they're 3.1 as expected, that's a match. That is not inflation falling, and that is not a signal for rate cuts. But if it comes in above expectation like the last one did at 3.2 or 3.3%, I think that's probably the end of talk of rate cuts for the rest of the year in America. And if we get that, we're going to get a large correction. I think US stock markets will sell quickly. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin take a bit of a hiding. For me this week, I'm just I'll be reducing some positions and taking some care, because the other thing, if it comes in at 2.8, rate cuts are back on the agenda for the second half of the year, and we'll see markets rallying everywhere. But I would say this got about a 10% chance of coming in overestimate. And if it comes in overestimate, I've got about a 9% chance of it causing some carnage in these markets for a few days. So I'll be watching US CPI really closely this week, and very aware that it could have big impact on a number of positions at the moment. That's just my bit for now. Mark, come and say hi. How are you going?
Hi, Paul. How are you guys?
Hi, Mark.
Hi. Mark, do you know Kim? You're slipping her a few pesos for picking your name out every week. Is it a little bit of a deal? So you know the deal, Mark. If you pick your own trade,
yes,
and you win $1,250. If you steal one of our trades and you win $625. I have not placed a trade this week, so you can't steal my trade, but you can steal one of the guys' trades. Who do you want?
Since I did win, probably already tried to steal. Can I play?
Good
I want
man.
to try the trade.
Good man. I like that.
Good trade. Good on you, Mark. What are you going to take?
How about Euro USD or
Euro USD?
pounds yen?
Pound yen. You want pound yen? Okay.
Yeah,
Do you want pound yen to go up or to go down?
to go up.
Pound yen long, Mark. I love it. Good on you, mate. We will let you know next week, and we'll see you back next week when you win the draw again. Come back on and have another go. And next week, super special. We're going to do this from Bali. So thank you very much, Mark. Mark is pound yen long.
Thank you.
My recollection is that we have got Ash. What are you?
I'm Kiwi Swiss long. I quite like Mark's trade. I'll tell you why, because it kind of looks like there could be a correction. Even though I think that trade ultimately is down, I think there could be a correction. Mark just might have the timing right this week. My personal trade is the Kiwi Swiss long, though.
And Adam, what was your trade?
Sorry, mine was shorting the Dow, the US 30. Did I miss something there?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Alexis, what's your trade?
I'm going for a Euro yen short.
Love it. Okay. And Mark was pound yen. So James will have those in the system. We will monitor them. I'll get James to put the account details into the chat so you can follow those trades if you want to log into a trading account and do that. Thank you very much, Mark. That is a chance for easy money, I reckon. Now, sports bets. I don't know how many weeks in a row it is, but mine won. I'll tell you what, it looked like it was going to lose for a long time again, but in the last session today, Australia got up and beat New Zealand in the Test cricket. I think that's 6 or 7 weeks in a row. How did yours go, Ash?
Quite good at that game, weren't you? I was close, mate. I was close. I had a double. I had Tottenham and Villa to score more than 2.5 goals, and Tottenham smashed them 4-0. And I had West Ham to beat Burnley, and they went 2-0 down in the first half, and they fought their way back to 2-2, but they couldn't get the last goal. So I was close to a winner, but I couldn't do it this week. But it does suggest that this week, coming up, that there may well be a winner. Do you want me to share my one for this week?
Right, please share your one for this week.
Well, my one for this week, because of what happened last week, is going to be is Tottenham's going to be in this one again. I say good win against Villa, and Villa are no mugs, and they're sort of an important team for Tottenham to beat. And they're taking on Fulham away from home. I think Tottenham have now got their squad pretty much back, and I think they're going to be on it. So I'm going for a Tottenham win this week, mate. Decent price, 23-20. So that's better than 1-1 for the return. So better than 1-1 for a Tottenham win, who I think are the best team in the league on their day. I think they're going to beat Fulham. That's my one for this week, mate.
I like it, mates. I've just found what I'm going to take. And look, I'm going to, I'll share some screen here. Look, I think I'm going to bring my, so you've got Tottenham for a win, right?
Tottenham, of course, Tottenham for a win. I don't like having to go against my
club. Isn't it? Your other team. Mate, Brighton are now celebrating 1-0 wins over Forest as if they've done something cool, mate. What's happened to our beloved Brighton?
They're tired.
Look, I'm going to put mine on the line here because, to be honest, I don't like anything. The only thing I really like this week is the Chiefs to beat the Fijian Drew, and it's paying $1.13, and I just can't do it. So I'm going to pick an upset in Super Rugby, and I'm going to pick the Highlanders at home in front of the House of Pain crowd. Knock over the Brumbies in a bit of an upset in Super Rugby. I'm going to put my normal $50 on it. Now, I've got to say, look, if you're following my sports bets because I'm on a decent run, then I would not follow this sports bet because it is a bit, I don't love it, A couple of times I just refused to have a bet because I didn't love it, but look, I think it's about the right money and it's some chance of happening. So I'm going to take it, and if I do that, I will have tripled my my TB account since we started the show. So I have got the Highlanders to beat the Brumbies, and to the team, thank you very much, Ash, Adam, and Alexis. We've got the A's. We've got the A's with the PB today. Ash, Adam, and Alexis, thank you very much for coming in and placing your trades. Thanks, Mark, for winning it. Thanks to Kim for joining us. Thanks to James for facilitating. And, of course, thanks to you guys for coming and watching. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope in the midst of this, you're getting a balance between learning something and taking out some good trades and making some money, because that's what the show's all about, that little balance, Can you learn a little bit and can you see some winning trades and take some winning trades? The team is unbeaten now for 5 or 6 weeks as that jackpot goes to 12.50. See what it does next week when we'll come to you live and exclusive from Bali. See you then. Take care this week. Look after your money. Watch out for Tuesday. Watch out for that inflation number. Unless it's actually 3.1, you'll see a reaction to it. See yous. That's a wrap for this episode of the Learn to Trade online show. Keep your charts up and your trade savvy. For more insights, subscribe and catch us next time. See you in the next episode. Stay calm and make good decisions. The Learn to Trade online show is presented for informational and entertainment purposes only. The information presented should not be construed as investment advice. Always consult a licensed professional before making investment decisions. The views and opinions expressed on the Learn to Trade online show are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of the show's hosts, guests and sponsors. The Learn to Trade online show, its producers, sponsors and the hosts, Paul Botterill, Simon Williams and Ash Bill, shall not be liable for losses resulting from investment decisions based on information or viewpoints presented on the Learn to Trade online show.